This bag is being flaunted by celebrities all over social media. But something about this story didn't sit right with me. That's why I hired a private investigator and did 2 months of research around my suspicions. When I heard about this new brand running red hot on social media, I went to their website to see what all the hype was about. I learned that it was a 2-year-old brand making waves in A-list celebrity circles. This was strange because they don't even have physical stores where these people hang out. The brand is online only, and these celebrities aren't the types to dig deep online to find new bags to flaunt. My first thought was there must be a significant PR budget behind this big splash. And it seems to be working for the brand because most of their items online were sold out, with people signing up for the restock alerts. 2 other facts caught my attention as I went through the brand's short history. First, they declared themselves as an anonymous design collective, so we would never know who's behind the brand. A mysterious Bitcoin Satoshi Nakamoto style secrecy hinted at very conscious behavioral science behind these PR initiatives. Second, on May 10, 2024, Aupen announced that they were bidding goodbye because their design team was going on a break, which caused havoc and confusion among their early followers. Some asked how they could go out of business after all these celebrity features, and others rushed to order the last bags on their site, fearing they would miss out. This made me confident that there was a mastermind behind these PR mind games with significant investment pushing the brand on social media. Well, this was the perfect brand to investigate as questions started to merge in my mind. I ordered the re-edition of the Fearless bag in leather. Many of their early designs were made in so-called vegan leather, aka plastic, but they switched to calfskin in early 2024. Very good call. Another key question arose. This very good-looking bag was advertised as made in Singapore, a country known for its high cost of living, but not for leather crafting. Yet the real leather bag I purchased was only for $340. Sounded too good to be true, so I got even more excited. My bag arrived in a nice box and I loved it at first glance. The leather felt really good and the design and craftsmanship were impressive. Now I wanted to investigate the leather crafting industry in Singapore, as I have never seen a bag made in Singapore before. I considered flying there, but hiring a private investigator was a more sensible option. In the meantime, I dissected the bag to look behind the curtain while my investigator tried to confirm Aupen's Singapore production. As I open up this bag, I see very thoughtful engineering giving this rigid structure to us. The inside materials chosen wisely and designed wisely. It's definitely a work of professional and master craftsmen. We applied acetone to remove the finish on top of this leather, and as I was suspecting, it's super minimal, very nice semi-aniline finish on top of a nice full-grain calfskin. It's a beautiful, beautiful leather. I love it. I love the design, structure, and the masterful craftsmanship. The leather was superb, but there was no marking of made in Singapore or any other country for that matter. This was odd, especially since the brand proudly displayed made in Singapore on the product page, yet skipped the market on the back. Right at this point, I received an email from the brand's PR team. They noticed that I had purchased one of their bags and they would like to participate in my Rip My Bag challenge by having me review one of their real leather bags. Now I was very confused because I was pretty sure I ordered a leather bag and received a leather bag. So why did the PR team think I received a PU bag and wanted to send me a leather version of that bag? I asked for a quick meeting with the PR team to clarify a few points, as I was already making this video and this wouldn't be a paid partnership. They were kind enough to accommodate a quick call to answer my key questions. During the call, I asked them if the celebrity posts were paid partnerships, as it seemed far-fetched for a 2-year-old brand to be in favor of at least 8 A-list celebrities. They said it was completely organic and that they were very surprised by this. Then I asked about the manufacturing place. I told them the bag was impressive, and given Singapore's high-cost economy, how was it possible to sell these bags at these price points if they were really made in Singapore? They confirmed 3 times that they had a single manufacturing partner in Singapore with 10 artisans working for them, creating their designs in small batches. And that's why they were constantly out of stock. I also asked why their email said my bag was PU, and they said upon double checking my order, they noticed I ordered a real leather SKU. So it was an oversight on the PR team's first email. I also asked about the goodbye announcements, and they said that one of the original members of the design collective wanted to take a break. They wanted to celebrate this departure with that post, but they were shocked by the response from their followers. It wasn't their intention to create a fear in the market, yet they still kept the announcement on the website banner for months, saying that their design team's on a break, but operations and customer service continue, which was a very odd thing to keep on top of your website. Finally, they said they were going into a collaboration with LVMH and moving part of their team to France. I wished them success and really wanted to believe them on a personal level, as they were very professional and kind. Also, some of my best friends in school were from Singapore. I admired their work ethic, so I didn't want to think they were lying to me. But the professional in me noticed so many discrepancies, so I went back to my private investigator. My investigator's report said that the brand had an office location they surveilled for a few days. There were about 10 to 15 team members in that office who seemed to be working on marketing, PR, and operational tasks. They also talked to a team member undercover, learning that she was a new member of the team and very passionate about fashion. She had no clue about where their bags were made. The brand was owned by a company managed by 2 listed Singapore citizens, and nothing further was revealed in the report. We couldn't confirm a production operation in Singapore. My private investigator report was disappointingly shallow, and I took the matters in my own hands again. I went back to the Made in Singapore page on the website and took a closer look. Here's the building they show as their manufacturing facility, and the text supports that it's their production place in Singapore with some supporting images. There was a building image with a craftsman working on what seems to be a belt repair on a Singapore newspaper page. So I thought this must be their factory. Also, the text below the picture sounded like it was their production facility in Singapore. When I downloaded the image, it was named as Aupen Factory. I reverse image searched the building and found the address of it as a business center in Singapore. Here's a building I found. It matches perfectly with the picture they have on their website, even the neighboring building. So I was sure this was the address. Then when I searched for leather goods in that address, I found this Crockohdial Pte Ltd, which gave us their website showing a quite fancy exotic leather bag making, which also offer prototyping services, fabrication, and repair. And perhaps some of these pictures were coming from the same workshop that they list in their production page on Aupen website. Plus, the workbench of the craftsman image on Aupen's website resembled so much to another image on Crockohdial's site. Look at these 2 tables. This picture is from Aupen's website under their Made in Singapore page. The man has a lot of little cups with different colors, very vibrant colors, fixing a belt. And this is from the Crockohdial business page. The table color under the mat is the same type of cups, same amount of vibrant colors, and also they're fixing a belt. This makes me think these 2 pictures are coming from the same workshop. I was pretty sure this company had something to do with Aupen, as they used images of their building and workshops. I gave them a call asking for a partner who can help me with my prototypes and production. And now I mentioned Aupen's name as a brand I know from Singapore, and he said yes, they used to come here to work with us, but the conversation ended there. I believe this may be the place Aupen got help to develop these bags, but clearly they were not making the bags at this point, at least not in that building shown as Aupen Factory on the website. One last idea came to me before reporting my findings, and that was to look at the label on the box I received. To my surprise, there wasn't a from address on the label. I went on the UPS site to track the progress of this shipment and confirmed that this bag was picked up from origin in Guangdong, China. Now, Guangdong, China is a large leather manufacturing cluster in southern China. I have visited many times, and that was my initial guess where you could make a bag of this caliber and sell it around $300 price points. I like to point out that Aupen website shows under their FAQs that they have strategic warehouses located in USA, Canada, Singapore, the UK, and China. A whole lot of strategic warehouses for a brand that makes production in a shop with 10 artisans only. This, in my experience, gives you about 500 to 600 bags a month maximum. That's a lot of warehouses around the globe to maintain. And surprisingly, China is in that list, even though brand is targeting clearly Western markets derived from their social media presence. This whole thing doesn't add up from a cost standpoint, based on all the information I have gathered in this investigation. If you make this bag in Singapore, it will cost at least as much as it would if you make it in France or Italy, based on the average leather craftsman salaries in all these countries. Running a leather production in Singapore is even more expensive than Italy and France due to high living costs. Let's forget all that and say you made it in Singapore and targeted the American market, given the American celebrity partnerships. It makes no sense to ship this bag to mainland China for storage and distribution. Even brands based in Hong Kong and making their goods in China warehouse and ship them from Hong Kong mostly. It just imposes too many unnecessary complications and costs in logistics. And that kind of explains why the bag may not say where it was made. There is a very smoky operation going on here. Eventually, my efforts weren't enough to prove either Singapore or China as the manufacturing place. But all the clues I discovered heightened my suspicions towards a not so truthful manufacturing description. This also meant that I wasn't going to regard all the answers I got from Aupen's PR team as true statements. My theory at this point is that there is a deep-pocketed secret financier behind this operation, masterminding all these PR gimmicks. Their plan might be to create a social media hype brand and perhaps exit with a handsome payout through an acquisition by a large group. Alternatively, it could be a secret investment from one of the major conglomerates to develop a new brand appealing to Gen Z, as legacy brands are losing popularity among the new generation. They may be cannibalizing their own customer base to eventually keep the market share under the brand family through hidden investments. I have heard a few stories about other new and very popular brands being financed by family members of industry giants. In summary, I love the bag I dissected for the price I paid, but I absolutely hated the gimmicky PR strategies coming from a brand that claims authenticity in its name. Everything I encountered during this investigation was far from authentic. More importantly, do you believe this bag was made in Singapore given all my findings? And are those celebrities carry Aupen bags because they found them organically and they love the design so much as the brand claims? And if you're having a hard time believing like me, the question becomes, how much PR is too much? And is it worth misleading your audience to create hype around your brand? Finally, I'm curious if LVMH looked into any of these practices, and are they comfortable bringing Aupen into their facilities for future collaboration? As always, until next time, stay leather-tained.